The Texas cattle industry is a sprawling $15 billion economic engine built entirely on the health of these massive herds. Look at this map of South Texas. On June 3, 2026, right here in Zavala County, just 40 miles from the Mexican border, authorities found a single infected 3-week-old calf. Inspectors discovered something alarming. Buried directly inside the calf's healing umbilical area was a dense, writhing cluster of larvae. That single calf confirmed a biosecurity breach that agricultural officials had feared for decades. A parasite completely absent from the United States for over 60 years had finally crossed back over the border. This is Cochlearia hominivorax, known commonly as the New World Screwworm. At first glance, it might look like a standard agricultural pest, but notice the distinct metallic blue-green body and the prominent orange eyes of the adult female fly. The real danger occurs during the larval stage. Unlike typical maggots that feed exclusively on dead material, these highly specialized larvae actively burrow downward, consuming living, healthy tissue as they grow. Because they aggressively consume their host alive, they can turn a minor scrape, or the unhealed navel of a newborn, into an expanding, agonizing wound that kills the animal in a matter of days. This Zavala County detection didn't happen in a vacuum. It was the leading edge of an outbreak that has already produced over 170,000 cases, moving steadily north through Mexico. This heat map tracks the spread. You can clearly see a dense concentration of infections pushing steadily northward, driven by favorable climate conditions and the frequent movement of livestock, until it inevitably spills over the Texas border. The spread is driven by a relentless reproductive cycle. The female fly actively seeks out the body heat and open cuts of warm-blooded animals, depositing hundreds of eggs at a time directly into the exposed flesh. As those eggs hatch and the larvae dig deeper, the expanding wound releases a foul odor. That specific scent acts as a biological beacon, attracting even more females to lay their eggs in the exact same spot. A steel wall or a checkpoint inspection can stop a commercial truck, but it cannot contain a flying vector that reproduces exponentially and actively hunts for new hosts across hundreds of miles. When ranchers faced this exact nightmare in the 1950s and 60s, conventional chemical insecticides failed completely. Scientists were forced to engineer a biological countermeasure. They developed the sterile insect technique. Instead of applying poison, they used the parasite's own biology against it. Scientists breed millions of male flies, using precise radiation to render them sterile. Airdropped over infested areas, they overwhelm the wild population. Females mate with them, producing zero offspring. Without a next generation, the parasite population drops steeply to zero. Weaponizing a deadly insect's own drive to reproduce, in order to destroy it, remains one of the most elegant and necessary countermeasures in modern agriculture. Right now, the USDA is deploying that exact tool. They immediately drew a rigid 12-mile quarantine perimeter around the infested ranch in Zavala County. Inside that zone, all livestock movement is frozen. Teams are constantly checking animals, setting up localized surveillance traps, and calling in emergency airdrops of sterile flies to saturate the area. The cost of letting this slip past containment is severe. Unchecked, a widespread screwworm outbreak would trigger billions of dollars in livestock losses and severely inflate beef prices at the grocery store for American consumers. The threat extends well beyond the pasture. These flies will infest local wildlife, household pets, and occasionally even humans, laying eggs in exposed wounds, nostrils, or ears. Decades ago, precise science pushed this flesh-eating threat out of the country, but as we know, biology rarely respects a border. Protecting the food supply requires constant surveillance, rapid response, and the willingness to fight a biological war that